Nigeria has finally succeeded in halting the enforcement of the $11 billion arbitration award in favor of Process and Industrial Developments Limited, P&ID. This is happening after over 5 years of legal fireworks. In a judgment delivered by email, Justice of the Commercial Courts of England and Wales, Robin Knowles, upheld Nigeria's prayer on the ground that the ill-fated gas processing contract was obtained by fraud. A private arbitration tribunal had on January 31, 2017, ordered Nigeria to pay $6.6 billion to P&ID plus interest beginning from March 2013. With the interest rate fixed at 7%, amounting to $1 million a day, the potential payment had accumulated to over $11 billion before the verdict. In the meantime, Nigeria's federal government has described the judgment over the $11 billion arbitration case by the Process and Industrial Developments Limited against the federal government as a victory over corruption. Both Nigeria's Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Finance spoke after the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting. The case heard by Justice Robin Knowles of the Commercial Court of England and Wales prioritized the merits of the case above other considerations. It says the case puts to rest speculations over the enforcement of an unjust award against Nigeria and is a big blow to international companies set up with the sole aim of reaping developing nations.
This successful result is a decisive victory for the people of Nigeria, who stood to lose over $11 billion United States dollars for the Nigerian administration, and for the Nigerian administration, which has now reached a milestone in its mission to challenge the scourge of corruption. The judgment also serves as a damning indictment of predatory international investors who should now rightfully be deterred by preying upon Nigeria and other developing nations to satisfy their greed.
A very delightful moment during the Federal Executive Council meeting when the news filtered in that Nigeria had indeed won this case, and of course, as expected, the President was very elated, so also members of the Federal Executive Council were all very happy that that news filtered in, and this is one direction that Mr. President is going, ensuring that things are dealt with expeditiously, responsibly, and with utmost responsibility.
To discuss this, we're joined by energy analyst and consultant Seun Dania. He joins us from London, United Kingdom. Good to see you again. Thanks for giving us your time. A win is a win, a lot of people would say. The Nigerian government, through its lawyer, claimed Nigerian officials were accessories to what many have described as one of the largest scams in history. We've won the case, but there has to be some repercussion. People say this is worrisome. Can those involved be prosecuted?
Yes, evidently. Those involved in that P&ID scam can very well be prosecuted, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria and other jurisdictions. So the UK court ruling has established that the contract itself was obtained, through fraud, and, a lot of Nigerian officials were complicit in this fraud, and, other nationals from different countries, P&ID. So it's left for the Nigerian government now. I remember that the actual contract was signed in 2010, so that was well before even the President Muhammadu Buhari administration. It's all left for the Nigerian government to investigate, the roles of the officials who took part in this scam, and of course, be able to file counter charges against P&ID and prosecute them, sue them for, trying to defraud Nigeria as a whole country.
The arbitral tribunal's award triggered further litigation in several jurisdictions. However, it was not until November 2019 that Nigeria first raised allegations of corruption in an attempt to convince the English courts to set aside the award. Why did it take this long to raise the allegations of corruption?
So, like I said, the contract was signed in 2010. The Nigerian government didn't do anything. Neither did P&ID. However, I believe that, at some point, the P&ID probably just felt, they had they went through the contracts and saw maybe a little bit of loopholes and thought they could extort the Nigerian government. They actually went to court. Maybe the government was served, but there was no response, and that's why the court, actually, the arbitral tribunal awarded P&ID 6.6 billion in damages at the time. So it's possible for the Nigerian government, it's possible that they only became aware of that corruption after the tribunal that had awarded P&ID. Another possibility is that the Nigerian government possibly was, afraid because of, at the time, was a new administration, and they didn't probably want to be pointing fingers back to the previous administration, fear of damaging, reputation internationally, and of course that would also attract negative attention from the international community. So this being a very large corporate scam, in Nigerian history, it could have been very embarrassing for the Nigerian government to admit that its own officials were involved. So I believe that was probably reasons why the Nigerian government, didn't take action early enough.
Before I let you go, the court has yet to decide what will happen to the fraudulent $11.5 billion award. A future hearing will decide that. What do you think the outcome would be?
So evidently, it has been ruled that the contract itself was obtained by fraud. So what that means is the contract is, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not going to be, but what that means to me, in my own opinion, is that that contract is not void. P&ID did not carry out any of the functions that they were supposed to. They were supposed to, build a gas plant to offtake. The Nigerian government did not provide them any wet gas. So basically, no work was done. And, they probably just saw some loopholes and decided to exploit it. So definitely the outcome is that to be thrown out of the courts 100%. And I believe the Nigerian government can push for, if the court is willing, the court can actually make them pay for damages, to the Nigerian government.
Seun, thank you for speaking with us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here.